Hello everyone, welcome to beautiful Coral Gables, Florida. My name is George. We are here at a client site that we were honored enough to do all the Wi-Fi networking, audio visual in here as well. So I wanted to give you a tour of all the things we did. Again, if you're in the Miami area and you need something like this for your home or your business, please reach out to us and let us know. We can definitely help you out with it. Like I said, we did do all the networking here. I'll show you the network rack. We did Wi-Fi, got a couple access points. And this build, we actually used the Omada products from TP-Link. Wanted to give them a try. I've used the Unify stuff, the Ubiquity stuff, and I've used the TP-Link. I think they're both very good products. I wanted to try the TP-Link stuff here, and it worked out pretty well. So let me give you a tour of the place and show you around. So we'll start off with the televisions in here. This is the main entrance of the firm. So there, we are using Samsung QLED LEDs in here. This one I believe is an 85, and then we'll move on to the other ones around over here. This is a set of 4 here, and these are Samsungs as well. I believe these are 65s if I remember correctly. And we have them all set up. Try to put them as close as possible to make it look like, you know, one big nice display. Yeah, this looks really cool in person, and I think it came out really, really nice. And then in here in the conference room, we'd have another one that matches the one up front. So this is also an 85-inch QLED. In the back room, we also have another television. And so these TVs are actually all running on Wi-Fi. I don't have any of them connected. There's another TV right here which isn't on. I don't have any of them connected, mostly because I didn't think, this firm doesn't really use an insane amount of throughput on the network. So I thought, you know, running on the Wi-Fi would be, you know, enough. I do have Ethernet at all of them, so we could connect them if something were to happen, but we've been running them on Wi-Fi for about a year, actually about 2 years now, and no issues whatsoever reaching the max on the network. So, you know, so far so good, no reason to switch it up. I wanted to talk about this thing you see here. This is probably the coolest part of the whole build. So this is a stock ticker display, right? So this shows all the stock symbols and what they're doing and whatnot. We didn't install this, so I can't take the credit for that, but we did source it out for the firm here. We spoke to a lot of different companies that make these, but this company that we use, I believe they were in New York. I'll put the information down in the comments so you can see it. But this one, you know, this is a cool part of it. Also runs on Wi-Fi and does use, I believe it's real-time data, but it could be, you know, slightly delayed, but really cool. So at this firm, they use all laptops, right? So what we decided to do is each individual station, there's 7 stations here. Each individual station has their own USB-C cable, right? So all their laptops connect via one of these USB-C cables, right? And that goes to a dock, and anyone can come in, plug in. They'll have dual 27s, right? These are Scepter dual 27s. They'll have a keyboard, they'll have a mouse, and they'll have Ethernet at every one of their stations. So we have one dock for each. Everyone also has phones, right? So desktop phones, even though they use mostly their cell phones, but we have desktop phones available in case they need it. We have down under these things, we do have power at every station, right? And we also have 2 Ethernet cables coming from the main rack. And then in here, we have a 12-port switch, and that switch, you know, goes off to every one of the machines here. So all the stations are all the same, right? So they all have the same monitors, they all have the same keyboard, they all have the same mouse. So it makes it very clean and very, you know, I wanted it as little cabling as possible. So if you look from here, you really only see one cable, which is the USB-C cable that's coming out. We have these really nice monitor brackets, monitor stands that can, you know, that are fully maneuverable, and they can maneuver it whichever way they'd like. you know, it looks really clean. It looks really nice. I hate cables dangling everywhere, so I wanted to make sure that wasn't happening here. Like I mentioned before, we are using the TP-Link Omada setup. So we do have one access point there in the front that kind of takes care of, you know, call it front of the house, which kind of takes care of everything. That one access point could have probably taken care of the whole office, but I did decide to put in a second one just in case, just for some load management. So that one isn't using up a ton. So now we do have the other one here. Sorry. We have the other one right here. I'll put the descriptions of which ones they are. Another really cool part about this office that I can't take credit for it. I didn't install it, but we did source it for the client, and we consulted on this. So the client wanted some privacy because, you know, they have meetings inside here with clients, and they put up some sensitive information up on the screen there. But they didn't want some ugly shades on there. So we have this cooler remote, and you can black out or blank out the whole conference room, which is really cool. I'm actually working on getting this set up on a smart home switch, so you don't have to use this thing. You can even use, you know, Siri or Alexa or whatever to tell it to turn off. So really cool part. Really, you know, clients love it, and it gives them the oohs and ahs all the time when they see it. The thing I wanted to do, and this office has a bunch of lights. Obviously, you know, a lot of offices have a lot of lights. So I wanted to make it as easy as possible for them, for the employees of this firm, to be able to turn on and off the lights. So I actually set up a Raspberry Pi up in the server rack running Home Assistant. And I set up these two pretty simple automations here. One is morning, one is night. So in the morning, you click morning and it turns everything on. And then at nighttime, you click night and you wait a couple of moments, and then everything in the office turns off. All right, so you're ready to exactly how, you know, the owner wants it, where these lights are still on, so you can still see the model here of the slogan of the firm, and, you know, these things are still on. So yeah, I wanted to make it as simple as possible for everyone so that you don't have to worry about going around and turning on a bunch of different lights. So I set that up, and then let's turn it back on. So in the morning, you hit morning and everything turns on. So all the TVs turn on and the lights turn on. Everything is on and ready to go. We also set up the cameras for them. So we have one camera right here. We have another camera right here, which takes care of the back door. That's two cameras, and then we have two in the front, one of them facing the receptionist area, and then another one facing the front door. So we have another camera right there, and we have one more right there. We sourced those, and we also installed them. So yeah, we do audio visual and networking and cameras, all that stuff. The speakers, like I mentioned, they don't really use the speakers much, only when they have events, and it's mostly for background. These speakers were actually white, but I spray painted them black. I couldn't source black speakers, so instead of going through the hassle, I just went ahead and painted them. There's one right there. I painted them black so you wouldn't notice them at all. There's another one right there. There is another one right there. There is one right there. And there are two up front here. These two, we kept them white since, you know, they wouldn't be so ugly up front. You know, the white over here would have clashed, would have been horrible. But again, like I mentioned, this firm, you know, this isn't a nightclub or anything. So they're basically just using it when they have events, just for some background music. We also have a microphone, and, you know, sometimes when they have events, they stand over here and they'll do, you know, a little speech or whatever. And we use that so that people in the back can hear it. For the smart light switches, I wanted to put in some smart light switches because I eventually thought I would put in the smart home situation. We are using TP-Link's product as well, TP-Link Kasa switches. These have been great. I use these in a commercial and residential applications, and they have been really, really great. Haven't had much issues. I have had a couple of them go down. The TP-Link has always been really good about sending me updates, so no issues on that front. And that's about it. Obviously I took you through this pretty quickly, but it did take us a while to get this done and done correctly. This office has been up and running for about 2 years now. I'm actually here just doing some updates and some cleaning up, making sure that everything runs correctly. Haven't had any issues with any of the products. Again, like I mentioned, the TP-Link stuff is pretty good. It's on the cheaper end. It's pretty significantly cheaper than the Ubiquiti stuff. You're getting 95% of the product, of the features that you would on the Ubiquiti stuff. So I liked it, had no issues, haven't had any issues. I've used them. I actually have it in my home as well, and I haven't had any issues so far. If you're in the South Florida area and you would like for us to come to your office and do this, if it's a new build, that's kind of our specialty. But if you need some updates or if you need something, we do consulting as well for any sort of IT situations on the server side, on the desktop side, and pretty much anything. Please hit us up, let me know. If you have any questions on anything that I've used here or any questions on the installation process, leave a comment below and I'll be sure to reach out to you. Thanks.